This weekend in worship, we continue to hear lessons from the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, verses 21 through 37. You have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, "You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment." But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, "You fool," you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you are offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother or sister, then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly, I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, "You shall not commit adultery." But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to go into hell. It was also said, "Whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce." But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife except on the ground of unchastity causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, "You shall not swear falsely, but carry out the vows you have made to the Lord." But I say to you, do not swear at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let your word be yes, yes, or no, no. Anything more than this comes from the evil one. There are certain sins that seem to get all the attention. The ones we rank as the big ones, the ones we think of as the real sins. But as Jesus sits his disciples down on the mountaintop to give them the teaching they will need before they begin their ministry together, Jesus wants to make something clear. Following him, being faithful, is not as simple as avoiding those quote-unquote big sins. Jesus wants his disciples to know that, in fact, the little sins that we brush off, that we don't often even give a second thought to, the ones that we justify for one reason or another, yes, even those little sins also make us liable to judgment. Even a straying eye or a wayward hand is a serious matter with dire consequences deserving of drastic action. And Jesus wants us to know that one particular sin cannot be singled out as worse than the rest. So, are we all lost? Is our only hope to be perfect? Or does our hope lie in trying to cut off and tear out all the sinful bits of ourselves, sever ourselves from all occasions to sin? Where is our hope? If we step back and take a look at the big picture of this scripture, we see a group of disciples gathered together. Jesus knows his followers will sin. They will do things to hurt themselves. They will do things to hurt one another. They will need a community to help them be faithful, to hold each other accountable, and most importantly, to give and to receive forgiveness. And if we look closely at this scene up on the mountaintop, we notice that Jesus is at the center, calling the disciples to follow even though we may stumble, offering forgiveness because we will stumble. Jesus is the most important thing about being faithful. And in the face of judgment, where not one among us can claim to be innocent, can claim to be sin-free, Jesus is our hope. And the disciples will see that this is true. We will see that it is true. as we follow Jesus through the Gospel of Matthew.